Hi everyone, David Allman here. Thanks for joining me today. And I am with my friend Pierre Journel. Thank you for joining me, Pierre, today.
Hello, David. How are you doing?
Good. It's great to have you on the channel. I think this is the first time, so thank you for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, hopefully your followers will enjoy my sexy French accent. So I will try to make some conscious effort to improve my accent just for you,
I,
David.
I think it's good, but you know what you could do? We could do it like this, the interview like this, the whole thing. It's double feature.
Don't push me in that direction because that kind of French accent comes to me very naturally. So
But it's funny, me
let's
too.
let's not go there.
Like whenever I do it, that's how I spoke when I first moved to America. It's very relaxing for me to speak like this. It's so easy to get back. I love it. So maybe I'll switch, not by accident. I might switch halfway, but we'll see.
Yeah, please don't try to imitate my accent, huh?
No,
Okay?
no, not at all. So for everyone watching this, Pierre is started the website lachaîneguitare.com and the English version, the guitarchannel.biz, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
And so tell me, just for those who don't know, tell me a little bit in a nutshell what that website is about. What is it?
Okay, so it started basically as an audio podcast, like it was in 2009, and the idea was just to do interviews with people. And at the time, I thought it was going to be only a hobby that I was doing at night and during the weekend. And one emission, one episode led to another interview, and so on. And people were more and more interested about the content I was producing. For me, it was a blast to do it
Yeah.
because I am not a professional guitar player, but I've been playing the guitar since I was 13. And I am an engineer as a training, and I'm not a journalist. But
Mhm.
eventually, I said to myself, well, you know what? It's kind of fun to do that full time. What could be the kind of business model I could find to do this full time? And that's what I'm trying to do with the Guitar Channel in English and La Chaîne Guitare in French. And basically, the elevator pitch is that the Guitar Channel is some kind of cross between Netflix for guitar player and also a nice community of crazy-minded people who are into guitars.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Mm.
And yeah, you guys, you have a lot of stuff. You have like interviews, gear review, lessons. Um, what is it, a lot of that is accessible. Like I've followed your stuff for a while for free, but you also have the paying section. Could you
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about the perks of becoming a paying member?
Yeah, sure. Well, there is no advertisement on the Guitar Channel. So basically, what I do with what I call the Backstage Pass, which is the name of my
Yep.
paying subscription, is crowdfunding of to finance the guitar media, La Chaîne Guitare, and the Guitar Channel is.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, when I was in January in NAM, and we almost met for the
Yeah.
first time,
Yes. Next
as
time we will.
yeah, in Los Angeles. So I was there to do as many interviews as possible with luthiers, but also with musicians and people like that. And the idea is that to produce this content and to make it available to the paying subscriber. So if you are a free subscriber to my YouTube channel or to the website, you can usually access only a couple of free gear reviews and the beginning of the interview. So you will have the first 2 or 3 minutes. If you want to have the 30 minutes of interview, then you need to have the paying subscription. That's
Okay.
how it works.
Yeah, that's very smart. Um, Great. So tell me, so you said you started playing guitar around 13 or so.
Yeah, yeah.
What is your first guitar that you got? Do you remember?
My, yeah, sure. My first guitar was a classical guitar because at least here in France, when you start the guitar, you are supposed to start on classical guitar.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I would say even now I would recommend this because it is softer, for your fingers and everything. And very quickly I moved on to a folk guitar. After that, I bought my first electric guitar, and I never actually stopped. It was the usual. the usual experience with the group, with band you played during school and after that in college and so on. So really the passion for the guitar has really not left me, and that's why I chose Passion Amplifier as the motto for the guitar channel. So if you could sum up, in fact, my life, it would be Passion Amplifier. That I could have a tattoo,
Yeah,
Passion
yeah, yeah.
Amplifier somewhere on me, and it would really basically be a good summary of what's my life is. But
Yeah.
tell me a little bit more about you, David. How come you are now a famous YouTube guitar star?
Well, thank you. I don't know if that's true, but I think just like most people, you don't wake up one day thinking, when I grow up, I'm going to be a YouTube star. Well, maybe
Yeah,
today. I
sure.
don't,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
today people, I don't know. But when we were growing up, that YouTube didn't exist and this whole like job thing, the internet, we saw the internet, birth basically.
Mm-hmm,
So we didn't
mm-hmm,
know about all that. So I think just gradually doing things, one thing led to another. I started kind of at the beginning of YouTube, this platform. We didn't really know if it would work or not. It was before Google bought YouTube. And so I always enjoyed making videos and just fun videos. It was just a hobby. And I
mm-hmm.
would post a few. And then uh, Rob Chappers, you know Rob Chappers?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I met Rob at NAM a while back, a few years back. And at the
And he was
time,
already working for Undertones in the UK, right?
I
Or
don't think
no?
so. No, it was
Okay,
before that.
okay.
And at the time, he had 10,000 subscribers, and it was huge. He was like the
Mm-hmm.
celebrity because that was one of the first, YouTube guitar personalities, and uh, and people would recognize him and stuff. He had just 10,000, which can be huge, but it's not that huge now if you look at the
Yeah,
numbers.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I asked him, like I kind of wanted to. I was very curious, and he kind of encouraged me to continue doing those videos and kind of mentored me a little bit at first. We'd exchange emails and stuff, and all that to say, like seeing guys like Chappers make what seemed to be a living. I didn't know. I didn't know how much he made or anything, but it seemed to be doing what it was supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
at the time, you were already a professional musician or professional guitar teacher, or what was your status at the time?
Kind of like I think at the time I was kind of independent. I was working for other websites like teaching websites on contract work,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
but really struggling though, like a lesson here, a lesson there. And YouTube was like very, very beginning for me. I had a few hundred subscribers. But yeah, that's kind of what started on the path, and then seeing the uh, that it was getting some traction, I just kind of continued like that.
Okay.
Um, but so I have a question for you though, because it's really interesting. Both of our jobs there's some similarities, but they're also different. And I'm curious to know when you started, I'm assuming you were the only guy behind the idea and just the only guy working on this
Yeah,
first?
definitely. You have about 99% of the guitar channel in front of you. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do
Yep.
everything myself. I am the boss. I am the community manager. I am the accountant. I try to use a true graphic designer to do the graphic stuff because I'm pretty bad to do that.
Yeah.
So to design the nice logo and
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
I use a professional. But the rest of it, I produce all the content, I do the gear reviews and so on. So yes, it is basically the Guitar Channel is a one-man show at the moment. Yes.
Yeah. And so okay, so you are saying that prior to doing this, you were, doing corporate work and things like
Yeah,
that. You had a career,
exactly. Yeah.
right? Different career.
Hmm.
Um, was there like a click? Like one day you woke up and like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm gonna do something completely different, scary, that probably is not gonna pay. Like, what was some of the clicks?
Well, actually, there was definitely one day, or there was a click, and I am an electronic engineer, an IT engineer, in fact. So as soon as it was possible, as soon as we discovered internet, because it started,
Yeah.
Netscape and so on. Then there was a social network. So even now, even nowadays, as soon as a new social network arises, I jump on it and I try to play with it. Usually it doesn't stick, but
Mm-hmm.
anyway. So I was always very into what was going on the internet, and I opened my Twitter account at the very beginning, and someone I followed talked to me about a guy called Gary Vaynerchuk, and who wrote a
Yeah. Yeah.
book.
Yeah. Yeah. I know
Yeah,
him.
he wrote a book called "Crush It and Cash In: How You Can Cash on Your Passion," something like that.
Yeah. Yes.
And my friend told me, you know what? I think you should buy this book. This is really something for you. And it was almost some kind of revelation for me. And even nowadays, I listen to Gary Vaynerchuk videos a lot because he has a very strong message about that, saying, okay, if you are passionate enough about something, now it's possible, with the internet, with just a smartphone to do a lot. You have a leverage which is incredible,
Mm-hmm.
and you can do it. And at the time, I was working as an IT engineer, IT manager, in fact, in a big company here in France. And the salary was very good, but the work was incredibly boring. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, I started the Guitar Channel as a podcast a couple of years ago. Maybe there is something I can scratch, and there is something I can build on that. And after that, it took a very long time to think carefully about the business model. And basically, when you start something on the internet
Mm-hmm.
to make money, you have two choices. You can either go the advertisement route,
Mm-hmm.
or you can go premium. So
Yeah.
most of the people believe that the advertisement is the only way. And in fact, a couple of years ago, it was the only possibility to make
Mm-hmm.
some money out of the internet. And nowadays, with the crowdfunding mechanism more and more popular, people are really beginning to understand that yes, free content is good, but sometimes it makes sense to pay to access some high quality content. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do with the Guitar Channel. And I believe that's what you are trying to do also with your training you have on the internet, right?
Yeah. That's exactly right. Premium as opposed to advertising. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that's interesting. So back to your beginnings. If you Some people are listening to this and probably wanting to do something kind of similar to what we're doing, like have the independent lifestyle and a passion that they love, whether it's guitar or
Yeah.
something else. Are
Mm-hmm.
there any tips you would give to young people who want to start a podcast or YouTube channel or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that?
Well, the first advice I would give them is please do it. Go ahead. I mean, it's regardless of the field, whereas it is guitar or any kind of domain. Now it's really the time that where it's possible to actually build a business on something very specialized as the guitar. So even if the guitar is actually probably the most popular instrument in the world, it is still a very niche market, and
Yeah.
there is not a lot of money to be made on the guitar field. I think
Hmm.
you can agree on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is nothing compared to what you can do if you talk about sports or running or I don't know photography
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But it's definitely possible to do it. So and it's a lot of work. So that's why I am at the moment, for example, in France, I am probably the only one doing this kind of job. But if we
Hmm.
look at the English side, it's you can find plenty of high quality content regarding the guitar, and
Yeah.
some are ad supported, some are doing that just as a hobby, and that's all good. Some are supported because they do some product review and stuff like that. So there are plenty of business models, and the tools are there, but be sure to remember that it's quite a lot of work. And yes, I'm super happy to be working now as an independent, but boy, what a huge amount of work it is. I'm not complaining because
Yeah.
I enjoy every second of it, but that would be definitely what I would say.
Hmm.
What would be, if I ask you the same question, what would be the advice you would give?
Yeah, I think starting it first even before you have a full business plan, because if you spend time writing a business plan, thinking about all that, and you start and you're like, I don't like the work, then you lost a lot of time. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
would start by trying it. Be okay with not having all the answers because things change a lot too. And
yeah,
if you think you have all the answers here, and then an opportunity comes here, well, you're so narrow-minded towards this, you're never going to explore something else. But I would
yeah,
agree with you. Just
yeah.
start.
And you know, Gary Vaynerchuk says something very often, and I think in his company VaynerMedia now he has a lot of signs, you know, all over the office, and one is saying something like ideas are shit. And it basically that means an idea is nothing.
Hmm.
What is really important is the execution of the idea. So stop saying to yourself, okay, I have this incredible idea, but I cannot talk to you about it because it is top secret. Well, if it's top secret, then it's dead and it's nothing. So
Yeah.
because I did not invent the idea to produce guitar content on the
Hmm.
internet. You did not invent guitar teaching,
Yep.
right? Unless I
Right.
am mistaken. So,
I did actually.
yeah. So that's you. You invented that.
That
Okay,
was.
that's cool.
I thought you
But
invented the podcast. So what are we doing
yeah,
here? That
yeah,
was the whole
for
interview.
sure I did. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But the
yes, you're right.
important part is to be able to execute it properly. And that's the most difficult part. And the 95% of the job is there. Not in the idea itself. The idea itself is 5%. 95% of the work is the execution.
Yeah. No, that's
Mm,
very good. That's
yeah.
good. I agree with you. And then also, you said that there are a lot of podcasts, a lot of teaching websites, but there's only one you, and that's really
Yeah,
important
true.
too.
Yeah.
Um, that's a good point. So
Mm.
along with that, is there maybe that doesn't exist, but and I hope you won't ask me this question because I don't know how to answer it. So don't ask. But is there a typical Pierre Journel day? Does that exist? What's your typical
Well,
day?
yeah, usually the morning I am working on the website, you know, because I publish a video, an interview, gear review almost every day. So
Wow.
the first thing I do in the morning, I wake up and after breakfast, I open my smartphone to check what are the latest notification I got on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and so on. I
Hmm.
reply to that. Then usually about 10 a.m. I publish the article of the day that I have to publish to Facebook, to Twitter, to Instagram
Yeah.
independently. And most of the time, yeah, the afternoon is dedicated to either producing more content or prepare an upcoming event. So, for example, last weekend in Paris, we had a very important guitar festival called Guitar au Beffroi right next to Paris.
Okay.
So it was a lot of work to prepare the event, and it was also a lot of work during the event. And now that the event is done, I have to produce the video, to put out a full debrief with photos and videos on the internet and stuff like that. And yeah, and that's the big part of my time is dedicated to that. And the rest is really trying to think, okay, this is what I am doing at the moment. This is what I am executing. What do I need to reach more people? How can I provide more value to people? What do they need? What is going to be the small incentive that will get them to pay me money to
Yep.
access what I produce? And you can never, I think enough about it. You have to have a good product, so
Hmm.
you have to have a good teaching a course with many subjects and so on. But you also have to have the good tools to sell them, to communicate about it. So
Yeah.
I suppose your strategy to communicate is to push high quality free content so people get
Hmm.
more engaged to buy the paying stuff because this is very good free, so let's see
Yep.
how good stuff he has for a paid subscription, right?
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm.
Okay. What is any big plans for 2018? Anything that you're looking forward to?
Well, I try to be present in all the major events where there is something going on about the guitar. So we almost saw each other at the NAM, the Winter
Yeah.
NAM in January. So there was this big guitar show in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
The next event for me here in Europe is going to be the Music Messe
Yeah.
in April,
Yep.
which is a huge music show, but it is less and interesting for guitar because it is more now geared toward the DJ stuff,
Okay.
synthesizer, and things like that. After that, in May, I will be going to the Holy Grail Guitar Show in Berlin, in Germany,
Mm-hmm.
which is a show only dedicated to high-end luthiers, so it is
Okay.
super interesting.
Yeah.
And after that, I think the other event is another event in Germany, which is called the Guitar Summit,
Okay.
which is some kind of music messe, but smaller and only dedicated to guitar. It was the first edition last year, and it was super interesting. It is always some good opportunities for me to interview people, to communicate around the guitar channel if I am able to have a booth,
Mm-hmm.
and to basically also engage with the guitar community. So I reached out to you before the NAMM show because I saw that you were planning to go there, and it
Yeah.
would have been a good opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
do a face-to-face interview. And
Yep.
let's hope that in 2019 it will happen, right?
That sounds great. That sounds good.
What are
Thank,
your projects for the rest of the year for you?
uh, the big one I think is finishing the next album, which I started and I really would like to
Nice.
finish it this year.
Okay.
And just continue to, enjoy producing high quality content and
Mm-hmm.
see what comes to me too. Not be so narrow minded that I can't see other opportunities. So we'll see what happens. We'll see
Okay.
what happens.
So now that you had a little bit of time to think about the question you don't want me to ask, I'm going to ask it to you. So what
I
is
was
your
waiting.
usual typical day? So how long
Yeah.
does it take to produce all the high quality content you do?
It's been easier in the last few months because I upgraded my system and I spent a lot of time like thinking through all the steps that I take. I'll link below like a video that I do a walkthrough of the setup. But little things like each time I come in, I've got to turn on this light. So I make it so that the light is always right there, and I just have to do this instead of going behind something and just
Mm-hmm.
really thinking through the process and uh, something that takes 5 seconds, like it adds up. So typically, I work from noon to 6 p.m.
Okay.
In the
Mm-hmm.
morning. I hang out with the kids, and I give my wife a break too to work on
Nice.
her stuff.
Good for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for her. Yeah.
And I do 3 videos a week, so the week is kind of like, I might do a video a day, and then the rest of the time is for things like talking to you or
Mm-hmm.
other people and things like that. So it depends. It depends.
And do you have a lot of work ahead of the recording process? I mean, to prepare what you're going to say, is it very scripted and everything? Because we don't
Yeah.
see that, right? We see
Right.
the finished product. It looks easy. You are in front
Yeah.
of the camera and bang, bang, bang.
I'm glad you say this because that means that maybe it does look a little more prepared than it is.
Mhm.
But usually, so I rent an office. It's very close. It's like a 5 minutes away drive. And usually, as I'm driving, I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to teach today? And then
Okay.
I'm thinking, okay, I'll teach, open chords. And so I
Mhm.
press record, and I just do it, and hopefully it works. But so there's not that much prep, but I would like to allow myself more time to prepare to make something a little better. And hopefully that'll happen in the next few months, but we'll see. But
Okay,
it's
great.
always an adventure.
Mm.
Pierre, thank you so much for taking the time. This is very fun. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, hopefully next time it will be face to face. So,
Yes,
right.
that would be great. And for those of you who are watching, you can English version is the guitarchannel.biz.
Yeah, that's correct.
And,
Yes. Mhm.
and en français, la chaîne guitare.com.
Exactement. It was a lot of fun to be able to do that with you, David. So thanks a lot for having me on your channel.
You're
Thanks.
welcome. Anytime. Thank you, Pierre.
All right.
Have a
Bye-bye,
good day,
David.
everyone. Bye.
Ciao.